All right, today, Time Magazine announced its Person of the Year. It's always a big deal. You see it there on the stock market. Turns out it's actually several persons. Time announced that the, quote, architects of AI won the annual award. The edition has two covers. One has the letters AI under construction. The other one is this. It features CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, among others, sitting on a construction beam. That famous old picture you see all the time. That's a new one. The idea of artificial intelligence has been around for a while. Think of Skynet. But in the last year plus, it's really kind of taken off and impacted businesses around the world and made us all sort of say the same thing, that it's here and it's not going anywhere else.
No, it makes you cringe sometimes. So here to talk about AI is MSU Denver's Dr. Samuel Jay, who is joining us. So we were just chatting about this. I mean, every single field that we can possibly think of somehow is involved in AI or using AI.
Yeah, it's a general purpose technology, so it really can do whatever a user can decide it can do, which is very interesting. And I think that's part of the slow uptake. I don't want to say at scale, but I think a lot of folks that have predicted it was going to be a bigger thing thus far or already. But we're just not sure how to use it yet. But each person that figures out how to use it does something really interesting with it.
Sometimes perception is different than reality. It's a unique thing to say about AI, but the way people are perceiving it, it could be different. For instance, I say right now, corporations are using it really well to limit the amount of people they have to pay. And the regular folks who aren't involved in AI are, talking to a chatbot, better Google. Right. Is that what you see happening right now, or is that just perception?
No, I think you're spot on. I think it's almost, usually we don't get a technology out of the box that we're not sure how to use, but that seems to be the case here. We just don't know the different use cases. But once an individual gets a significant amount of time just getting their hands dirty, we're beginning to see really interesting uses. And so I think scaling one particular solution is really hard, but how you use it and how I use it and how you use it and how somebody else uses it are so unique, which also makes it very powerful. But I think we're going to start seeing corporations, like you're saying, figuring out what is one particular way to solve a problem using AI, and we'll begin to see scaling those products on top of these models.
Which makes me nervous, and in reality, lets the billionaires become bigger billionaires, trillionaires through this. The thing that you just talked about, Phil, in the commercial break we talked about is like young people. It's sort of like young people don't know life without a cell phone, without the internet, with everything. If they only use AI, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be the most proficient. They're going to grow up, all the kids that'll go to high school and everything. Isn't that kind of scary?
It is. It really is. And it's happening so fast, too. I'm thinking, what we're teaching down the street now at MSU Denver is going to be so different than what I teach my 7th grade daughter when she's in college. I mean, she will have grown up at a time where her brain is really molding and using it in very, very unique ways that right now we're kind of training students up on how to just begin using it. And so I'm anxious to see what happens, quite honestly. To go back to both of your comments, I do get concerned about what are the impacts to the job market when things really take off? Once we really start figuring out, it can do this automation, or it can do this predictive analytical tool, or it can create this video, because I just don't know that we have that safety net in place to really, make sure that those that are graduating colleges are well off or set up for life. And so that's what keeps me up at night.
What do you think some of the biggest pitfalls are?
Letting it do the hard work for us, the thinking. As a college professor, friction is what leads to learning. Right? You have to have friction, it's difficult. And these tools are really, they're designed to eliminate friction. And so as a professor, we kind of have to bake the friction back in, which is a little bit more complicated than what we're used to. But I think once we do start figuring it out, there's a lot of very interesting use cases for it. In particular, personalized learning is a buzz term right now. I'm not sure if I believe in it, but it is a way for, my 7th grade daughter was studying for her Spanish test last week, and my wife and I were kind of tired of answering questions, or quizzing her, and we said, I said, I got an idea. Let's just try ChatGPT. And she studied for another hour via the voice function on ChatGPT. And the sort of tutoring and quizzing that she had was really, really impressive. And to me, it was like, whoa, okay, now I begin to see what this potential this technology can really potentially do.
That's actually very cool to think of it that way.
Yeah, it's
but
almost
otherwise,
like...
I just don't want to interfere with problem solving and the ability of the human to address something with emotions and reason.
Yeah, I will say this. I think over the last few months, and this stuff moves really fast, and I try to keep my brain wrapped around it as best I can, the potential, or the importance, excuse me, of defining a problem, right, is not really a skill set a lot of people have. I'm beginning to learn that, but we have to be able to, and that's where critical thought really comes in. What is the problem we're trying to solve? Once we can really fine tune and figure out what that is, that's where we bring AI in and say, how can this support the problem solving? What are some of the things that can eliminate? But it's, defining a problem is not easy for people.
And I think at the end of the day, a tool is only used for whatever the person who's holding it wants to use it for. So, we've seen fakes, AI fakes, and all this stuff, and it's going to be certainly sort of the Wild West as we go forward.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us about it.
So helpful. Keep teaching those kids. We appreciate
With friction.
Yes. Thank you both.